Okay, what should we talk about first today? I think we should talk about the cheat meal. And the reason being is because, at least for me, cheat meals are essential to my lifestyle. I cannot get through a month without having at least one or two cheat meals. And I'm at the point now, I've been doing this whole nutrition lifestyle, watching what I eat, tracking my calories for 2 years now. I've been exercising and resistance training and weightlifting for 15 years, maybe 16 at this point. And if there's one thing I can say, adapting and growing in the necessary direction where I am able to still eat what I want, just lower the frequency and still achieve the results that I want, has been a process. A process that I'm still learning, but this is the best I've ever been. With that being said, I still question if the habits that I am still observing about myself are healthy or not. For instance, this past Friday, my girlfriend's family was in town, and it was her father, her brother, and her stepmother, and we all went to Knott's Berry Farm. It turned into an unplanned cheat day, starting with 3 burritos from this restaurant that is nearby where they live in Arizona, and really, really delicious bean and cheese and bean rice and cheese burritos that whenever her father or my girlfriend are coming back from that area of the country, I asked them to bring those burritos because they're so fucking tasty. So anyway, I started off with 3 burritos, and I told myself that if I were to just have a little bit more throughout the day, then I would still be in a deficit. My thing is that the moment that I exceed my caloric deficit, for me it's like all bets are off. Let's make the most of today. Today is now a cheat day because I am now in a surplus of calories, and let's go for broke because tomorrow you're going to be back in a deficit. And that's my thinking. I'm not saying it's the healthiest way to think, but this is my thinking currently. So anyway, had the 3 burritos, came out to let's say 1,500 calories, 500 calories a piece. Go to Knott's Berry Farm. I'm chill. I have 3 burritos in my stomach. I'm not even thinking about food. We're going on rides. Girlfriend's talking about some yuca fries. We get in line for yuca fries, get a little box of fries. I have one because I'm polite and it was offered to me and they're so good, so I had to try one, which is cool. I had it. It was tasty. And then as the day's wearing on, Knott's Berry Farm, I'm not sure if anyone knows this, but I feel like there's more restaurants than there are rides. When in terms of like an amusement park, the amount of different places that you can eat, and they were all over the place. And the day's wearing on, and I'm just thinking yeah, I could definitely eat more. And the thing that I was thinking about, and I'll admit that I do have a sweet tooth, it was funnel cake. Because the last time I was at Knott's Berry Farm, I had funnel cake and it was delicious. And as the day's wearing on and we're going through the motions and shit like that, it's just it's the funnel cake that I want. So we end up getting dinner, and it was chicken tenders and fries. And the chicken tenders and fries were so mid/low, below mid. They were already out under a heat lamp. It was the worst thing that we could have ordered from Knott's Berry because everything else is there's more love and care in these foods. But the chicken tenders and fries, they were just there and crunchy. Anyway, once I ate that, then it's okay, well, I'm definitely in a surplus now. It wasn't even enjoyable, so let me reward my mouth and my taste buds with actually something that I would enjoy eating. So I scour for the funnel cake. And this is when I go into the tunnel. And that's how it's been described by people around me, and that's how I describe it myself. I go into like a tunnel vision where no one can stop me, no one can talk sense into me as to what my next move is going to be. I just want to eat. So I got the funnel cake, got the little boysenberry sauce on it, and a huge serving of soft serve ice cream. Shared that with my girlfriend. It was delicious. I honestly wanted to get another one just for myself so I can eat it. That alone was 1,500 calories. I probably ate 1,000 of those 1,500 calories and shared it with my girlfriend. So then that was that. And as we're now leaving Knott's Berry Farm, it's 10 o'clock at night, and I'm still raring to go because it's like one night only. Tomorrow I'm going back into a deficit, and I'm probably going to be fasting. That's also something that I do. If I have a 5,000, 6,000, 7,000 calorie day, I'm just going to fucking fast for like the next day or two and do my best to undo it. Granted, I'm going to be dealing with a lot of bloat due to the amount of salt and high sugar content that I consumed during that cheat day. So even if I were to fast for a day or two, I'm probably not going to go back to the weight that I was before the cheat day because of the amount of bloatation. I don't even know how much fat is being stored from that cheat meal, but that's another story. It balances out over the course of, honestly, a cheat meal at this low body fat, it does like a week of damage. It does like a week to undo that cheat meal. Unfortunately, that's just the way that it is. Not saying I'm happy about that. It's just, it has to be factored in. Maybe it does less damage. Maybe it does like 4 or 5 days of damage, but it does. And that's just something to anyone else who's watching who has aspirations of losing weight but also really likes to chow down. Cheat meals will slow down the process, and you have to factor it in. I'm not saying that you shouldn't do cheat meals, but it's gonna slow down the process. What was I saying? So as we're leaving, we go to a gas station to get gas for the car. Walk in, I get like 2 big things of Reese's because I'm still in like go mode. I'm like trying to convince her dad to stop at Raising Cane's for some chicken tenders, some real chicken tenders, because the chicken tenders that we got at Knott's Berry Farm sucked. That didn't happen. So when we got back to the Airbnb in Anaheim, I got 2 more burritos, and then I was done. I was like, my stomach was like this. And I was satisfied. The consequences of that cheat meal had me waking up the next morning at around 9 with severe heartburn just from the amount of food that I ate. I did the calculations last night. The whole thing came out to around 5,500 calories. 5,500 calories for the day, roughly, which is essentially 3 days of eating, my eating, like a calorie deficit type of eating. So if I wanted to really undo that, then I would fast for 3 days, which would mean that I would go back to eating on Tuesday, since this was on Friday. I'm not doing that, so instead I'm just cutting my losses. And when it comes to a cheat meal or a cheat day, the best thing that you can do is just resume normal lifestyle as quickly as you can. So if you're doing a cheat meal, have your cheat meal, eat it, enjoy it, and then go back to doing what you're doing the day before. Or if you have a cheat day, enjoy the day, suffer, no, enjoy, love it. And the next day, go right back to it. Go right back to what you're doing the day before. And that's the discipline that I've acquired over the course of these 2 years learning about nutrition. And it hasn't always been easy, but I understand that in order to achieve my goals, that's the necessity. And again, lowering the frequency of these cheat meals is really the name of the game. I would love to get to the point where I only have 1 cheat meal a month. And I have to I feel like I can do that. I feel like I'm there. I'm in that mindset. And then it's just a matter of maneuvering around upcoming events. For instance, this trip to Knott's Berry Farm, that was planned. That was planned 3 weeks ago. And when it comes to environments like that and situations like that, in my head it's like, oh, I'm still on a deficit. I don't want to have a cheat day, or I don't want to have a cheat meal. And then as the day progresses, the willpower gets weaker, and I just find myself wanting to indulge. And again, once I hit that moment where I'm no longer in a deficit, then it's like, all right, well, guess what? Today's a cheat day. Go for broke. The next opportunity where I find myself in an environment where that could happen again, my father is coming to visit my son, his grandson, at the end of this month in July on the 28th. That's another opportunity where I'm spending time with my dad. It's something of a special event because he lives all the way in Jersey and he's coming to visit me in LA. So that's a scenario where I could find myself indulging for the reason being that it's not the normal routine, and it's just that simple. So if that were to be the case, then that would be 2 cheat meals this month. With that being said, that's not even that terrible. It's not even that bad. But like I said, I would like to get to the point where I have 1 cheat meal a month. And I want it to be planned. I want to not really have anything to do with what's going on externally. I just want to go like, all right, on August 15th, I'm having a cheat meal. And it has nothing to do with who's coming to visit or what special day it is. I just planned this cheat meal for August 15th. I know exactly where I'm going. I know how much money I'm spending. That's what I would like to get to. And I do believe I will get there. Granted, it's not the most social version of my lifestyle. But I don't give a fuck. I was never a social person to begin with. So, and then you're just removing the variables from the situation. Granted, it takes a higher level of discipline than what I currently possess, but I do believe that I can get there. So there's my little spat on cheat meals. I felt a lot of heartburn yesterday in the morning, and I was kind of clogged intestinally for most of the day yesterday. So I ended up breaking my fast at around like 10 o'clock p.m. last night with a bunch of prunes because I wanted to get some movement going. And now the movement occurred and I can start today off attacking. Again, we're back to normalcy, back to a calorie deficit. And like I said already, it is going to take a couple of days to undo the cheat meal from this past Friday. But honestly, it's more of a reset than anything. It clears the mind and it gives you a renewed sense of focus. Not that I didn't have it this past Friday, but you gotta roll with it. What other thoughts? The other thing I wanted to talk about was the concept of dialing in. And I guess this is again for anyone who has aspirations of changing their physique, losing weight, getting in shape, yada, yada, yada. The first couple of weeks, maybe even sometimes the first couple of months when you're on a weight loss program or a body improvement process, it is a bit of a slog. It's a bit of a slog to take yourself to the gym each day or to watch what you eat and eat the things that you don't necessarily want to eat or you're not excited about, but to practice that routine of changing your diet and changing your fitness routine and your daily routine in order to achieve the results that you want. And those first couple of weeks or those first couple of months can feel kind of whack. And then something happens, maybe week 3 or month 3, where all of a sudden you're seeing the results in the mirror, you're looking at the scale going down, and you just feel different about the whole thing. You feel emboldened and you feel like you want to rush to the finish line. This is what I call dialing in. And like I said, it takes seconds. It takes weeks. It takes months sometimes to actually get to that point where you feel like you're dialed in, where you see the results in the mirror and you are excited about the next day and how you're going to kill it that upcoming day, and how you finish the day eating exactly what you had planned in your head and going to the gym and having a great workout, and then knowing I'm going to do the same thing tomorrow. You're not going to get that feeling. You're not going to get that experience in the first couple of weeks. It just doesn't happen. No one dials in that quickly. But at some point, if you commit yourself to the process, you will eventually get there. And all of a sudden, the diet and the exercise gets that much easier. You find yourself looking forward to it. And that's just something I wanted to put on everyone's radar. It does take time. And perhaps that's what the service that I can offer is it's online consultation. It's helping people get through those first couple of weeks where it does feel like a drag. You don't feel like you know what you're doing, or it just feels abnormal. Pushing past that and getting to that point where you know exactly what you're doing and you know exactly what you're supposed to do the following day, and you do it. The reward that gives you, and the ability to see the results in the mirror, is just the most satisfying thing out there. Considering the fact that I've gained and lost weight and gained and lost weight probably 6 times in the past 2 years, this is the most focused I've been and the most disciplined I've felt. So again, I am dialed in, and it took me another 3 months to get there. And when you're in it, just keep going. Just keep going. Okay, that's what I got today. A week from now, I'll look a lot better after that cheat meal is out of my system. See you on the next one.